We're live to Townsville. The Prime Minister Anthony Albanese speaking alongside the Emergency Management Minister and the Queensland Premier.
But at the worst of times, what we see is the best of the Australian character. And here what we see is Queenslanders, whether they be emergency services personnel, whether they be our police and fire services, the volunteers through the SES, and of course our Australian Defence Force personnel, particularly those based at the barracks here in Townsville, but right throughout Australia. We've had choppers come from Oakey as well as from Townsville, and what we're seeing here through 3 levels of government and the community is working together to get through what is a really tough time. One of the things I know about North Queenslanders though is that they are tough themselves, and the families and people that we've met here, including Carmel, who we talked through before about what she'd been dealing with in Ingham, is that they're resilient, they're tough, and they'll come through this, and we'll make sure that they get every support that they need. I want to thank David Crisafulli, the Premier, for the relationship that we've built over a short period of time. We have spoken every day about what's needed, and there's a seamless operation through NEMA, our national agency. Our Minister McAllister, has been here all week and will stay here for the rest of this week, but we will continue to provide what's necessary as well. Of course, there's no better group of people to find out what's needed than to speak to local mayors and local government, because they're in touch with what's happening on the ground, and we see that here as well. Today we're announcing $8 million co-funded community relief fund, providing up to $1 million for the local government associations, 8 of them, that are impacted by this flooding event. This will provide councils with financial assurance that they need to get on with the business of cleaning up and making their community safe. From 2 o'clock today, we will also be activating the Australian Government Disaster Recovery Payment. This provides $1,000 for eligible adults and $400 for children, who, for affected people in the localities of Cardwell and Giru and the local government area of Hinchinbrook. You can check your availability on servicesaustralia.gov.au, Services Australia, one word, / disaster support, one word again, or call the emergency info line that we've established, 180-2266. That's 180-2266. This funding is to help people who've suffered serious damage or injury as a result of the floods, to help with the costs of recovery. This follows yesterday's activation of the Disaster Recovery Allowance for eligible workers and sole traders who've suffered a loss of income. This morning we also announced through the disaster recovery funding arrangements that we're co-funding disaster loans for North Queensland farmers, small business and not-for-profits. These loans have been activated for the local government areas of Burdekin, Cairns, Cassowary Coast, Hinchinbrook, Palm Island, Townsville and Yarrabah, and will provide up to $250,000 for eligible primary producers and small businesses, and to provide up to $100,000 for eligible not-for-profits, so they can re-establish themselves by covering costs. Can I say that all of this is on top of the Australian Defence Force that are delivering so extraordinarily for this local community. It's been a great honour to meet the service personnel and to Lieutenant Colonel Brian Mitchell, who's shown us around here today from the barracks, and for his team. They are doing extraordinary engineering work. As we have been here, we have seen the rolling out of the immediate fixing of this bridge so that supplies can get through. Now that's just stage 1. Stage 2 will be to put in a temporary bridge so that people will be able to move up and down this highway, but importantly as well, we need to build back better. We can't continue to have a view that you just do the same thing because you'll get the same results. and we are committed to building back better, making sure that this bridge, we get a better one that's higher, one that's longer, one that's sustainable, and one that isn't knocked out the next time there is an event like this. And can I say, that's my mate Bob behind me. When I was last the Minister, Bob Catter came to me about the Ironsley River Bridge. It used to get knocked out and they'd build it and they'd get swept away again during the next event in Corumba, and Normanton would get isolated. It's madness to do the same thing over and over again and think you'll get a different outcome. What we need to do is what we did there. Fix the Ironsley River Bridge, made a difference. They did it through local government, so they were then able to use the funds to build another 3 bridges. It's something that I'm really proud of. And can I just say that for all the local members here, not just Bob, I know Phil Thompson's been working really hard here in Townsville as well. I know state members have been working hard, and local mayors and councillors as well. But most importantly, this community has been showing community spirit, resilience, and inspiring their fellow Australians with the work that they're doing. We'll continue to be here for as long as is needed. We'll make the immediate changes that are required to provide support, but we'll also engage in how we build back better and how we build greater resilience into the community. We've established a $200 million fund annual for making sure that we build infrastructure and we deal with resilience, because we are seeing in Australia, unfortunately, more extreme weather events, and they're more intense. Doesn't mean everything is due to climate change. We've always had extreme weather events in this country, but we are seeing them more often. Last year was, of course, the hottest year on record in global temperatures. We do need to continue to respond in the long term, but we need to look after people. And it's been pleasing to work with the Premier. I'll hand to the Premier and then we'll hear from the Mayor, and then the Premier and I are happy to take questions, and the Ministers are here as well.